Love is imperfectly perfect. The scent of rain-soaked cobblestones always reminded Alara of Julian. Alara, a gifted but struggling painter, lived in a quaint attic apartment overlooking the bustling streets of Prague. Her canvases were filled with vibrant colors, yet her heart often felt a shade of gray. It had been 3 years since she last saw Julian, a charming architect with eyes the color of the Vltava River on a clear day. Their love story had been a whirlwind of shared dreams and whispered promises, a masterpiece in its own right. But like many great works, it had its flaws. Julian, driven by an insatiable ambition, had accepted a prestigious position in London. Alara, rooted in her artistic haven, could not bring herself to leave Prague. Their parting had been a quiet affair, marked by tears and unspoken fears. They had promised to make it work, but the distance, a silent antagonist, slowly eroded their connection. Phone calls became sporadic, then non-existent. Emails turned into memories. Alara tried to move on, burying herself in her art, but Julian's absence was a constant ache. She dated others, but no one sparked the same vibrant hue in her soul. One blustery October afternoon, a letter arrived. The elegant script on the envelope was unmistakably Julian's. Alara's hands trembled as she opened it. Inside was not a plea for reconciliation, but an invitation. Julian was getting married. The wedding was in 2 weeks, in a small church in the Cotswolds. A knot of despair tightened in Alara's stomach. This was the final brushstroke on a portrait of heartbreak. Her best friend, Lena, a pragmatic florist, urged her not to go. "Why put yourself through that, Alara? You deserve better." But a stubborn part of Alara, a desire for closure, perhaps, or a desperate hope for a different ending, compelled her to pack her bags. The English countryside was a tapestry of greens and browns, a stark contrast to Prague's urban charm. Alara found the church, a centuries-old stone structure draped in ivy. Guests milled about, their laughter echoing in the crisp autumn air. Then she saw him, Julian, standing tall and handsome, his arm around a beautiful woman with a radiant smile. Her heart clenched, a sharp, familiar pain. He looked happy, truly happy. As the ceremony began, Alara positioned herself at the back, a silent observer. The vows were exchanged, rings slipped onto fingers, and a profound sense of finality washed over her. It was over, truly, irrevocably over. During the reception, held in a charming rustic barn, Alara kept to herself, nursing a glass of champagne. Suddenly, a familiar voice cut through the chatter. "Alara, is that really you?" Julian stood before her, his eyes wide with surprise, a hint of the old warmth in their depths. The woman by his side, Beatrice, his new wife, smiled kindly. "Julian has spoken so much about you," she said, her voice gentle. Awkward small talk ensued. Then Julian, with a slight hesitation, asked, Would you like to see something?" He led her to a quiet corner of the barn, where a series of framed photographs adorned a makeshift gallery. They were all of Alara's paintings, small, delicate pieces, ones she had given him years ago as gifts. "I never stopped loving your art, Alara," he confessed, his voice softer than she remembered. "Even when we drifted apart, these reminded me of the beautiful person you are." A tear traced a path down Alara's cheek. It was not the reunion she had once fantasized about, but something equally profound. It was a recognition of a shared past, a testament to a love that, though it had not endured in the way they had expected, it had left an indelible mark. Beatrice, seeing the emotion in their eyes, gently placed a hand on Julian's arm. "You two share a beautiful history," she said, her understanding palpable. Alara realized then that sometimes love is not about perfectly aligned paths, but about the imperfect yet beautiful connections that shape us. She understood that while one chapter closed, another, perhaps even richer, was just beginning. Back in Prague, Alara returned to her easel with a renewed spirit. Her canvases bloomed with fresh perspectives, bolder strokes. She still painted the Vltava, but now it flowed with a quiet strength, reflecting a sky that held both the promise of rain and the certainty of sunshine. The ache in her heart had transformed into a gentle warmth, a testament to the enduring power of connection, even when it did not unfold as planned. She knew that love, in all its forms, was indeed imperfectly perfect, and that even in endings, there was always the possibility of a beautiful new beginning. Don't forget to subscribe and like. Do also give your comment. Thank you.